The next presentation will actually be the last during this morning's session before lunch. And it is from the State of California Environmental Technology Certification. James Strook and Ann Haywood will make the presentations.
Well, thank you, Governor, and distinguished members of the panel. It's an honor for Ms. Haywood and I to be here this morning to represent our Environmental Technology Certification Program. This program has three underlying elements that make it work and make it necessary. The first is that existing technologies simply cannot meet the environmental challenge ahead. Second, technology advancement is the area that can truly bring together environmental and economic progress into one. And third, by mobilizing the environmental technology sector, we believe we can energize what's been needed for a long time, a private sector group whose private interest is to make our public mission work. In California, as at least our California judges will know, we have a very strong environmental tech sector with almost $20 billion a year in annual revenues and employing nearly 200,000 people. Beginning 4 years ago, we went to this sector, to lawyers, scientists, inventors, universities, laboratories, venture capitalists, and the rest, and asked them, what can we do to assist you in your mission? They came back with a series of recommendations, one of which was, while they said they knew there were tremendous bureaucratic and political obstacles, they would like to see us as government begin to put ourselves on the line as we asked them to do, to put the Cal EPA seal on products that could meet California's strict environmental standards. This would help them get loans. This would help them get market assistance. This would help them get help them get permits across the state, across the country, across the world. And as they told us, it would be a mechanism by which our environmental values in California and our environmental standards in particular could be exported across the country and across the world. As one example to show you how this works in practice, I would point to a company who received a certification for a device that allows motor vehicle oil to be re-refined over 100,000 miles without a change. Now, to put this in perspective, in California, with over 24 million motor vehicles, we have about 120 million gallons a year of motor oil consumed. Over 40 million gallons are not accounted for in our recycling and disposal systems in the state, and merely 1 gallon of improperly disposed motor vehicle oil can pollute up to 1 million gallons of water, and those were the right numbers. So this is a very serious issue. And when you think about the world implications, where the number of cars is doubling over the next 15 years, you see the opportunity. This company, in the first year after the certification, saw its sales go up 6-fold. The key, of course, to this program is reciprocity and replication. And that, of course, is happening very fast. The Department of Energy, led by Al Alm, formerly of this school, understood the potential of this very fast and assisted us in working with the federal government and other states. We're also working with Canada, very close to an agreement. In Bavaria, in Germany, they're seeking to adopt our entire program. We're also working with Jalisco in Mexico, with Russia, Indonesia, and China, and perhaps most importantly this very week, the California Environmental Tech Certification Program was submitted as the U.S. position in the ISO International Environmental Standards meeting in London, and we hope that will become the world standard by early 1997. Why are we here? Because it is so important to us to seek your certification. If Harvard and the Ford Foundation, in effect, give us a certification, it can help make certain that acceptance will be accelerated. It will help make certain that this approach that is very unconventional and from a bureaucratic standpoint, high risk, will be continuing long past Ms. Haywood's or my presence. Thank you, and we both be very pleased to answer any questions.
Start with Barbara, then to Max.
I feel like it's strange liberal today. I keep asking all the financial questions. This is a test. Yeah. In your materials, you indicated that one of the obstacles you had to work on was that the companies seeking certification reimbursed for the cost, and that the program must remain self-supporting. That your terminology, self-supporting. But in the budget dollars that are listed here, the major part of the funds come from the federal government. The next level or at least a large level comes from the state government, and then the private funds seem to be diminishing each year in the budget. And if it's self-sustaining and the employer or the company is doing that, I don't understand the term self-sustaining, I guess.
If I could just address that.
Would you,
What you're seeing in terms of the federal funds is as we expand.
would you still bring the microphone closer, please? Thank you.
Is that better?
Yes, much better.
What you're seeing with the federal funds in that budget we're doing a national pilot for the EPA, which will allow us to make this a national program, and that federal funding supports that activity. We have Department of Energy funding supporting the extension of the program to 6 other states. Essentially, they pay some administrative costs. We have Department of Energy funding a small amount which goes to a new bioremediation laboratory, which is a joint activity with the University of California and the Lawrence Berkeley National Laboratory to certify biotechnologies. So what you're seeing there are the pieces that support parts of the program which are not necessarily the core program. The core program is in fact dependent on a contract agreement which is negotiated with each company that comes into the program on what we estimate it's going to cost and how we're going to go about it. And that is, at this point, totally self-sustaining.
Thank you.
Max, followed by Tom.
How do these tests and how does the program correlate to the tests that have been out, underwriters and others, where you actually, there are tests that have been required for a number of years this would appear to either be duplicative or how do they dovetail?
It's in no way duplicative. We accept test data from a wide variety of sources. In fact, we encourage people to come to us with their test data already from other sources. If they don't have adequate test data, we help them prepare test plans, and we have access to the national laboratories, the universities. We're negotiating an agreement, for example, with SRI to help them get some of that testing done. But we accept solid third-party data.
Tom?
You'd be certifying, let's say, an air quality analyzer as well as a process, let's say, as a bioremediation. Do you envision, as this proceeds in the future, that the state of California would become expert in one or several areas while other states would be involved in others? Or do you anticipate that the state of Maryland, let's say, would have its own stamp of approval for a bioremediation process and an air quality analyzer?
Well, we would welcome that where it comes up, Mr. Downey, and there certainly are examples where states might move in that direction, and our current memorandum with the other 5 states, including Massachusetts and New York, may lead to that. However, I would stress that California has long and properly, jealously protected our right to enforce our own stricter standards, so I think that would have to come over time. I would also add, most states, to be fair, don't have the technical capacity California has.
Any final questions from members of the committee?
I'm curious whether there's
David.
this is not directly on point, but whether you can draw from your experience about what the federal government might do, say working with automobile manufacturers, or is there some lesson we could learn here that could be applied at a national level?
Sir, thank you for a broad question. If I can make a point very emphatically about this, one of the key lessons of this program from our point of view is that it demonstrates how important it is for the states to have the right to set stricter environmental standards than the national government. And in the automobile area, California has even separate ability to do the same. That is absolutely important because our international environmental position and also the economics that go with it don't come out of Washington. They come out of a small number of leadership states that set routinely stricter standards, have simpler processes, and much more rapid development of products that result in services. And I would add also, in the case of California, California is recognized worldwide for those